Hello once again. Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good, everyone? Hopefully you're doing great on this Friday. I know it's the happy day of the week for most of you because guess what? Some of y'all gonna get off work like 2:45, head straight to the dang pre-flight for the night. I know how that goes. It used to be. You know what I'm saying? So congrats to the ones who made it to the end of the week, man. Had a wonderful work week. There's some fight cards on deck as always. Being you see, boxing is opening up. You know, it's a lot more cards you're gonna see on deck. We was able to be blessed with one during the week that we tuned into. Shout out to Brandon Lee with that third round brutal knockout, man. That right hand crushed. I mean, it did its job. It was an early night. Shout out to Brandon Lee for getting that knockout. Because you're probably looking at this right here, man. We're talking about the light ones today. A fight that really has importance to it, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Deion Washington? Salute to you, my brother. This right here, this fight right here has a lot of history behind it, man. We're talking about one Francisco Estrada that sits on the pound for pound list at number 8, 9, depending on where you look at. Super flyweight dude, you know what I'm saying? 41-3, 28 knockouts. And then one of the best to ever do it, Roman Gonzalez. You know, he's 50-2, 41 knockouts. But the whole thing about this is both of these fighters had common opponents. They legitimate contenders. They've been to the top. You know what I'm saying? But the one, if you want to say slight, that people gave Roman Gonzalez was the fact that, you know, he fought one of the top dudes in Sor Rungvisai. You know, he fought him was knocked out in the rematch. First, he lost the majority decision, which most people thought he won. Then he came back in the rematch and was knocked out. That's what most boxing fans, that's kind of, I would say, temporary to the sport. They just rolled off, you know, Chocolatito, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, you know, 50-2, 41 knockouts. His only two losses is to Sor Rungvisai, who, you know, he was a man. That's the common opponent between him and Juan Estrada. But see, the one thing about Juan Estrada is he's trying to tell us is that this is the only loss that he has on his record that he haven't avenged. And he's right. He fought Roman Gonzalez back in 2012, man, and he haven't been able to avenge it to now. So that is his attempt to go in here. And that's why I think this fight is going to be extremely solid clash because these two have common opponents in Rungvisai. Rungvisai was a WBC champion. Juan Estrada finally defeated him at Superfly, took his WBC strap. So heading into this unification bout this weekend, Estrada is the WBC Super Flyweight champion. Roman Gonzalez is the WBA Super Flyweight champion. And it's going to be a damn good fight, man. If you want to know the ages, Estrada is 30 and Gonzalez is 33. But this weird thing is that, you know, when I'm speaking on some, when I'm sitting up here just conversing on some of these groups, right? Just having a chat. People thinking Chocolatito is somewhat like, I guess they get him confused with some other Nicaraguan fighter, some other fighter. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like, do they really pay attention to how good Chocolatito is? Like, this is a beast. This is a 4 division champion, man. He was a champion at minimum weight, light fly, we're talking about 112, and super fly, 115. 4 division champion. Don't too many people pay attention to this shit. Both of these guys are official, a legitimate matchup this weekend, and not too many people talking about. And you should be paying attention because, listen, Juan Estrada is like this. He said, "This is the last man out of my 3 losses." He's 41-3. He's avenged his other two losses, believe it or not. He avenged his other three losses. He said he'll go back to being undefeated if he beats Roman Gonzalez this weekend, which is tomorrow. He said he'll be undefeated again. We know the shit don't work that way, but what he's trying to say is that he would have avenged all of his losses, and Chocolatito is the last one for him to step in the ring with, and it's not going to be an easy one. But if you're talking about one notch, what's going on? Mark Nash in the building. Salute to you. Color Loco Sports in the building. Salute. Andrew Charles, what's good? Salute, my brother. If you pay attention to one edge and one notch that Francisco Estrada has over Gonzalez, is that he was able to defeat Sor Rungvisai. Chocolatito was knocked out in his rematch with Sor Rungvisai. Estrada wasn't. He avenged it, and he got the job done. So between them two, he has a little bit of bragging rights. I know he has more losses, but one of those losses to Chocolatito. You know, both of them has bragging rights, but when it comes to common opponents, Sor Rungvisai, Juan Estrada was able to avenge his freaking loss. But yet, in the rematch with Chocolatito, he was knocked out by Sor Rungvisai. But check this out, though. Chocolatito, he only has 2 losses by the same dude. Estrada has 3 losses by 3 different fighters. So both of them equally, you know, have their thumbs up heading into this fight. Gonzalez can say, yeah, you know, I'm the WBA Superfly champion. My only 2 losses came from the same dude. But I've since had wins, and I'm good. You know, he's still young enough. They both in their 30s, and they're close in age. So it shouldn't be one of those bouts that one fight is way too old than the other. But whoever wins this fight will have extreme bragging rights. We're talking about a guy in Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez who was on the pound for pound list back in the day, y'all. Look, he was on. Can you believe Roman Gonzalez was on the pound for pound list back in the day, right next to Floyd Mayweather? Can you believe someone at a weight that light was sitting on a pound for pound list with Floyd Mayweather, and then moved into number 1 once Floyd Mayweather retired? That's Gonzalez, man. I'm telling you, this dude is a motherfucking beast, dog. Chocolatito, people rolled him off. I couldn't believe how many temporaries was on these Facebook sites, on these Facebook groups, thinking he was Isaac Dogbay. Seriously, I'm saying to myself, I say, bro, are we talking about the same fighter? Do you think Chocolatito is Isaac Dogbay? Because Isaac Dogbay was stopped in both his fights. Chocolatito lost the decision, and then he was knocked out in the rematch. That's his only 2 losses. What are you talking about, bro? You know what I'm saying? Come on. Chocolatito is a beast, man. Estrada's a beast. He has a win over Sor Rungvisai, and Gonzalez don't when it comes to the rematch. Estrada was able to finish his, you know, I mean, put it this way. The winner of this fight right now is gonna fight Rungvisai again. That's what the news is. They're gonna have an opportunity to fight him again. So whoever wins this fight will be the unified champion, WBC and WBA champion. And then if you follow the sport, you'll know that who defeated Rungvisai for his WBC title. Juan Estrada. So not only is Rungvisai, he's going in there, he's going to be fighting this weekend too, but he's fighting like a 38-year-old cat, man, right? He's expected to win that fight. So therefore, the winner of this fight will step back in to the ring with Rungvisai for the 3rd time, y'all. They will step back in there with Rungvisai for the 3rd time. No matter who wins. Both of these guys has fought that guy, the same guy, twice. Let me get to some of these comments, man. Appreciate everyone pulling up this morning, man. It's Friday. It's the weekend. I know y'all expecting your stimulus checks to be in the mail. From when I talk to them, they say, you know what, everybody in this live chat, your stimulus check should be on the way this week, this upcoming week. Tone Brown in the building. What's good? Because I told them, put a priority rush on there. The ones that's in the live chat, put a priority rush on their stimulus. Mark Nash, I'm a poor man, but salute, brother. I want this. Let's closer. Now you keep a fresh thing top on. You balling. He said you keep a fresh tank on there, Kano. L Dub in the building. Salute, man. What's good with you? Estrada avenged those fights, 2 losses, and he's looking to avenge his third loss versus Chocolatito. Yeah, I said that earlier. Appreciate that info there, L Dub. Yeah, I said that earlier. He had an early loss in his career in 2012 against Juan Sanchez. He avenged that. And, not 2012, whenever he fought him. Then he fought, matter of fact, Juan Estrada fought Roman Gonzalez in 2012. And then Juan Sanchez, fought him, avenged that loss. And then, in the same year, he was able to go in there and fight Sor Rungvisai. And from my understanding, they did that shit in the same year. I think it was May and December of the same year, man. That's good shit. We rarely see some stuff go down like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, shit rarely happens like that. But if I'm not mistaken, man, um, I think that fight was in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was in 2017, I believe, when he fought Soron Vansai, right? So he fought him in September. He fought him in March 2017, and then September 2017, if I'm not mistaken. So being that the fact that he was able to go in there and go to a majority decision, but yet in the second one, this is probably why a lot of people are riding off Chocolatito, because he was knocked out in the fourth round. But those are his only 4 losses. Those are his only 2 losses. He got knocked off in the fourth round, but that still don't matter. He came back in 2018 and fought Fuentes, knocked him out in the fifth round. Dude's a beast, man. Diakos knocked him out in the second. He had pretty much all knockouts leading up to Israel Gonzalez, who just fought in October 2020. He went to a unanimous decision with him. And tomorrow night, this is going to be the fight that says a lot, because it provides Chocolatito the opportunity to be back on top as just a unified champion. He's already 4 division champion, but as a unified champion picking up the WBC. You know what I'm saying? He's able to scoop up that WBC. Now he can right the wrong and go back and fight Soron Vansai. That's what we really want to see. Seriously, that's what I want to see, because hardcore boxing fans know he won. Potentially he won that first fight. He threw more punches. He landed more power punches, and they gave him a majority decision to Soron Vansai. So he could be 1-1 right now with that. But when you knocked out as early as he was in that particular fight, people ride you off. People thinking he Isaac Dogbay. I'm like, dude, I really think you have the wrong fighter. You know what I'm saying? I truly believe that you're off target. I really want to see Chocolatito go in there and see, can he avenge that knockout, bro? Seriously, because maybe he's better. Maybe he understands what he needs to do now. Everybody go through those ebbs and flows in their career. But this is who I really want to see. Nothing against Estrada, but I like Chocolatito, man. You know what I'm saying? I really, this fight right here is gonna say a lot on where Chocolatito's at 33 years old in his career. One Estrada is not gonna be a pushover, but he has avenged two of his previous losses. And Chocolatito is the last. So he's gonna have that, distinct motivation to go in there, that drive to go in there and get the job done. And in his words, he'll be undefeated again. For Chocolatito, it gives him the opportunity to unify and go over here and fight the man who knocked him out. You know what I'm saying? The only man to knock him out of his career in the fourth round. He gets to avenge that the right way. He has two losses versus the same guy. So that's why I'm kind of pulling for Chocolatito to get this win and go in there against Sor Rungvisai and get this going. But appreciate that info there, L Dub. Mark said Gonzalez has some wars under his belt, but I call it experience. This is going to be a barn burner. Yeah, he has some wars, man. He has some tread on the tires for real. You can guarantee that. Chocolatito, man, was a household name. I'm not sure those who actually followed him when he was rocking the boat, but dude was on the pound for pound list. He was a beast. And when he ran in there against Von Vonsai, right? I mean, a lot of us, including myself, thought he had won that fight. Thought he did enough to win that fight, and he lost majority decision. But threw me for a loop is the fact that he came in for the rematch, and I thought he was fighting pretty decent. It just looked like he was behind, just a shift behind. Like I don't know what was going. Like he just. I was waiting for him to change levels. Just give us a little bit more energy. It wasn't there. I said, okay, this is a fight game. He'll warm up, and then it gets stopped. He was hit when that punch landed. He dropped on his back with his hands apart the way he did. I was like, nah, this fight might be over because he was hurt. He's like he landed on the canvas. I was like, damn. And a lot of people continue to talk about it as if they charged Chocolatito with two knockouts from getting knocked out back then. You know what I'm saying? They gave him 2 for 1. You get knocked out one time, but we're gonna add another one to you. No, that's not the way it worked. And y'all be sure to tune in because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, I'm gonna be watching Chocolatito fight more than I would be David Benavidez and Ronald Ellis. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest with you because I kind of came up off Chocolatito when he was on top. I still remember when he faced these downfalls in his career and people was riding him off. And I never could understand how one knockout and that kind of sat with me when J Rock said what he said, but I can't compare J Rock because he wouldn't have got stopped again. But anyway, L Dub say Sor Rungvisai fights tonight. He 3-1 versus Estrada. Did I get the dates wrong? Did I say tomorrow? He fights tonight. Good. I'll be checking it out tonight. My fault. I'm just getting my cross thread. That's what I got. That's why I had a teleprompter. L Dub in the building. I totally was misquoting that, man. My bag. The real four kings of boxing: Chocolatito, Estrada, Sor Rungvisai, and Kudras beat Sor Rungvisai. Yeah, Rungvisai has 5 losses. Yeah, but talking about these particular fighters right here, the common denominator who's at the top of the chain right now, holding the strap, and solid point what you made, L Dub, solid point. But the ones that's holding the strap that will face Rungvisai next, both of these guys right here stepped in the ring with him, Estrada and Chocolatito. But when it comes down to it, who had the best, engagement out of the two fights, we have to say Estrada because he went in there and defeated him for the WBC Superfly when Chocolatito was knocked out. Appreciate that info there, L Dub. Dion say Rungvisai fights tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, man. when you looking at several fights, this, that, and the other, man, ain't nobody perfect with this shit, man. But I appreciate the correction. I stand. Look, what we say in the military, I stand corrected. It's not going to get my channel shut down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, tonight is going down. Yeah. And that's good too, because tomorrow night, if this fight would have been on with David Benavidez, who, did balance the scales, you know what I'm saying? So he good on that. I would have been watching this fight instead. Israel Gonzalez has a good fight coming up next week on Range City, USA versus Jose Martinez. Big dog in the building. Salute to you, bro. Salute WCS. Let's go, Gonzalez. Let's get it. On the rocks, what's good, man? I'll take one on the rocks. I'll take that. I'll take that house. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that house. What they call it? That not house margarita, but top shelf or whatever. For real. But shout out on the rocks, man. Salute WCS. Appreciate you. But I think I'm hoping for with this fight. I really want to see Chocolatito not redeem his career, because his career is official. It's solid. But I think a lot of people are stuck as if they was in the ring getting knocked out with him. You know what I'm saying? This is a bad man. Chocolatito is a bad dude, bro. Like, come on. This dude, truth be told, he only lost to one person. That's not as bad. You know what I'm saying? It's not as bad when you lose to one person, but it gets a little shady and distorted when you get knocked out. You know what I'm saying? And he fought this dude. You know, what I respect about what he did was the fact that they returned for a rematch in the same year. It wasn't no procrastination. It wasn't none of that in there. I'm not saying he had shit going on or whatever, but he returned back in the same year, and we all seen what happened, man. Tonight's the night. Real talk. Tonight's the night. You know, from March to September, was that enough time? 5 months in between. Let your body rest. Get back in training camp for a hard training camp to go back in there against Rungvisai. Was that enough time for Chocolatito? I mean, I don't know, man, because he had a hard fight with Rungvisai. So 5 months, was it enough? You talking about taking some rest and getting back in there? I mean, yeah, he could have got more than an 8-week camp, but he had to let his body rest, man, from that fight he was in the first time to step back in there again, in September 2017. He had to let his body rest. No excuses tonight, though. No excuses. Dion say, PBC shows Terrell Goucher no love. I'll be honest with you, like, the performance he presented and displayed against Erickson Lubin, I mean, what love they supposed to show the man? What love they supposed to show him? I mean, they was both so shaky and fearful of engaging. I mean, they try to make it some beef. I took that little beef that Erickson Lubin and Terrell Goucher had, and then I looked at it like people who just want to put a beef out there for nothing to draw people in, like Daniel Jacobs and Gabe Rosado. It was one of those light, even though Rosado and them fought after. I'm just saying it really wasn't no beef. It was just all verbal sparring, just to hype the little shit up. But man, nobody was believing it, especially when you're gonna pretty much give us what they gave us, that Teofimo Lopez and Vasil Lomachenko action the first half of the fight. No one was then willing to engage. No one was willing to engage. And then when they finally did engage, Lubin, it seemed like he got hurt a little bit. I'm just saying. But y'all be sure to check this fight out, man. It's gonna be on and popping. For real. Let me Let me read a little snippet of the article, and you can probably see it over there on my YouTube, but I did make a correction off their article. See, people make mistakes, man, especially when you're writing. Sometimes you get complacent, man. That's all it is. They say Estrada 41-3, 28 knockouts. Say he's going to make it a war when he meets Chocolatito 50-2, 41 knockouts in that 12-round headline on DAZN at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. In 2012, Chocolatito had his hand raised after beating Estrada by a 12-round unanimous decision in a fight closer than the three judges' scores. Both fighters have enjoyed a lot of success. Estrada 30 will have his WBA super flyweight title on the line. And this is where the article is incorrect because Estrada is the WBC Superfly. So if you look at my, me copying and pasting this, I just put a quote correction per the article. I cited them, but I gave a correction because it's wrong. Estrada has the WBC Superflyweight title. And they go on to say on the line when he faces WBC champ Gonzalez. Gonzalez has the WBA Superflyweight champion in this unification fight. The winner will face WBC mandatory Sor Rungvisai in their next fight on DAZN. So Rungvisai, 49-5-1, 42 knockouts, is fighting this Saturday against 38-year-old Sungnui, 57 losses, 1 draw, 27 knockouts in the 10-round fight at the Workpoint Studio in Bangpang Salan, Thailand. It's a fight we've been waiting for almost 9 years, and we're not going to waste the opportunity, Estrada said during this Thursday news conference. Chocolate is a great fighter, and may the best man win. I have waited a lot. I have 3 defeats, and I only need this one to go back to being undefeated. I'm ready for this fight. So that's one Estrada saying he only need this win to go back to being undefeated, which is senseless to think that you're going to go back undefeated anyway. No doubt it would be better than the first one. It will be a war. Those who see the fight will be the winners. I come focused and motivated to win, Estrada said. I believe him. I believe both fighters are going to go in there and put forth everything to have bragging rights on this fight. The last time the two warriors fought, Chocolatito was busier, landing many shots with his combination punching. Estrada had problems with the style of fighting because he wasn't able to match the high work of Roman Gonzalez, right? And that's why I think this fight is going to be in favor of Chocolatito because he's already, like, styles make fight. He already defeated Estrada, right? So you just heard what they said, that he had a hard time keeping up with the pace, right? So now that the fighters are more experienced and much older, who's going to show more wear and tear? Estrada could have had the style to go in there and get the job done against Sor Rungvisai. Styles make fights, but he may not be able to get the job done against Roman Gonzalez. It can almost be like Ricardo Mayorga and Vernon Forrest. Who would have thought my man Vernon Forrest would lose to Ricardo Mayorga twice? Who would have thought that? Because Vernon Forrest was a better fighter, period. Who would have thought that shit? Styles make fights, man. Estrada tried his best, but he was getting lit up by being 25-year-old Chocolatito, and he couldn't land enough shots to impress 3 judges who scored it as follows: 118, 110, 116, 12, 116, 12. So he had a pretty superior contest when they fought back in 2012. Like I say, man, Estrada, he's on the pound for pound list, 8 on the ring, and then, according to Welsh, you look, they got him sitting at 9, right? Is this style just absolutely wrong for Estrada? I'm saying, does Chocolatito have his number when it comes to them two? We're gonna see tonight. He may have Estrada's number. His skill may match up real nice to Estrada to get this victory. He might have an extra, level of motivation to go ahead and win this fight because he want to avenge that freaking 2 losses that he got on his record. That will solidify a lot of doubters when it comes to Roman Gonzalez. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer no matter what you look at. Period. He's a future Hall of Famer no matter how you look at it. It's just right now on his record, it has 2 L's back to back in the same year. But the second L was a fourth round knockout. So we need him to, get this win tonight with Estrada and to prove to himself, his team, and to the boxing world that he still got it. You know what I'm saying? So him stepping back in there tonight, I'm looking forward to it. Real talk. I'm looking forward to it, man. Yeah, I agree, Dion. He said, look at his last opponents, all heat. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree when it comes down to it. He's an exciting fighter, man. We talking about a cat that was right behind Floyd Mayweather, man. Can you believe that? Like, Chocolatito was right behind Floyd Mayweather on the pound for pound list at one point. Real talk. I mean, he was right behind Floyd Mayweather, dog. Like, that's just wild. Dude hasn't, Floyd Mayweather's retired right now, but Chocolatito is nowhere close to the pound for pound list. Even though he's on a rebound right now, but I think he's not on the pound for pound list because of his fourth round knockout. I don't know. I know they was quick to throw Vasil Lomachenko up there. Chocolatito, in my opinion, when you look at the numbers, 4 divisions, even though they're like divisions, and that's around Lomachenko too. They're like divisions, but still, he has more of a resume than Vasil Lomachenko, period. So how can Vasil Lomachenko still be up there on the pound for pound behind Teofimo Lopez with no belts? And here you have Chocolatito with only 2 losses from the same person. You don't see him nowhere close to the dang pound for pound list. And I wonder what they're going to do if he picks up this WBC title. Are they going to throw him on the pound for pound list where Estrada's at right now? Because Estrada is sitting around 8 or 9. So Chocolatito beats him. He should go on the pound for pound list again. Seriously, he should be on the pound for pound list again. What's going on? Trick Note in the building. Salute to you, my brother. What's good? What's good? He said, why AB crying in the club with the hoodie on? Man, when I heard that shit, man, I actually put that up on my matter of fact, man. Man, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like these people who got money, they make it so hard for us to believe that they're actually happy in life. You know what I'm saying? It's always something going on. This is one brother who you're not gonna get me to try to sympathize or try to babysit or pamper him if he's in the club with the hoodie on crying, because these are boxers. First and foremost, these are boxers. According to what their amateur career was like, these boxers go through freaking shit, mentally and stuff. They do. They in the hurt biz. They go through stuff mentally. People need to understand that this fighting at the end of the day, like Deontay always say, your brain ain't your head ain't meant to be punched. It ain't meant to be hit like that. So you got to look at some of these fighters who have domestic problems and be getting into fights and problems, arguments, mood shifts. You got to understand they're in the fight game. But one thing I can't do for Adrian Broner is come up with an excuse for when I seen him in there just wasting money. Like when he had money, he was wasting money. You know what I'm saying? When he had money, he was wasting money. Real talk. Like if you're gonna burn money away, at least have some type of residual income. I mean, them kids are expensive. People don't want to look at it. I ain't talking about Adrian's kids, okay? I ain't gonna talk about another man's family like that. I'm saying kids are expensive. Kids are expensive. Real talk. And when you get to a number 3, just say 3. According to how far they space out apart, 3. All you gotta do is look at 3. You got 3, and then you get 5. 6. I mean, them kids are costing. unless you have some solid A1 baby mothers, someone have to pay to support those kids and raise them up. I couldn't tell you what would be so depressing him crying in the club, because it might be a friendship thing, because on that level you expect certain people to have your back. They don't have your back. I don't know, but come on, man. I got some pains too. Shit. For him to be up there in the club with a hoodie, well, he got up in the club, god damn it. He got up in the club. That's all I would say, Dion. He got up in the club, bro. For real. Trick say, chat, good morning. What's good? Hey, just Google that. Just look it up. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna explain to you what that is, but I would suggest respectfully that you look up, what the pound for pound list is, because you have people on here trolling. Just look it up, put the pound for pound list on. Look, anybody that's in the chat and you ask a question that's what I consider simplistic, like it's basic. All you can do is just like you type it in the chat, just put that inquiry into a search engine of your choice, and you'll find out what it is. It's that easy, real talk. Say Adrian Broner is getting short in the stick. His talent in boxing won notable world titles in different weight class. Give him respect. I don't think anybody's not giving him any respect. All Dion said was he was crying in the club with the hoodie on. That's his post period. So when it comes down to once again, you advocating for him. All I can tell you is he put that in the post himself. So how is he being disrespected? It doesn't make any sense. That's what he put in the post. You want me to show you the post? I can show you the post. I'll show you the post. No doubt about it. I'll show you the post. How are we being any less disrespectful? I mean, any less respectful? Seriously. He put it up himself. So check this out. Here goes his post right here. This is from Adrian Broner now. So I just want you to explain this to me, though. This is from AB. He said, I'm going through so much as an athlete. It's no love. And this shit, no more and is this shit no more everybody looking at me for money? I'm crying in the middle of the club right now with the hoodie on. So how are we not showing him respect? Do I have to go look? We're talking about something off topic to boxing, right? So should I go down his resume and what he did in boxing? No, I already did that several times over. I know he's a 4 division champion, and if they choose to put him in the Hall of Fame, so be it. We know his wins, and we know who he's lost to. So it's no disrespect, bro. Which I wish I would have that same energy on other fighters. Come on here and say, hey, respect them. Give him that respect we looking for. You know what I'm saying? Dion say, would you put Chocolatito on the pound for pound list over Carissa if he beats Estrada? I'm just asking. Well, right now, Dion, Clarissa is on the pound for pound list female. Until someone has the cojones to put her on the male's pound for pound list, so she can blend in and mix it up a little bit and give us a different look at boxing. Because what Mauricio Suleiman say, that Dion, we're going away from tradition and moving towards evolution. So therefore, I think for something that would make a lot of sense in Clarissa Shields' case is to have a blended pound for pound list with her credentials. So to answer your question about Chocolatito and what he was been able to accomplish 4 division champion, you know, um, it all boils down to this, right? It's always going to come down to the competition that Carissa Shields fought. If you look at Chocolatito and some of the guys that's on his record, you know, some of the rematches, you know, what he's been able to do, being on the pound for pound list, the way he was able to get it done, you know, right behind Floyd Mayweather at one point, and then he moved into the number 1 spot. I mean, come on, man. I mean, the man was a beast. Look at his experience. Clarissa Shields, she may have 11 wins and 0 defeats, but will I put her in front of Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, bro? With the way she's been able to pick up her belts versus what he was doing at minimum weight, all the way up to superfly. You know what I'm saying? From middleweight to superfly. I know both of these individuals are multi-division, but I got to get an edge to Chocolatito. I just got to get an edge to Chocolatito as far as competition. You know what I'm saying? Even with him with that loss, this dude was bad. This dude was considered pound for pound. I'm just saying. Look at how he rock. Man, come on, look. That's a tough question. Looking, you know, viewing at what Carissa has been able to accomplish, but also it comes down to the competition. Also, it comes down to the competition on which she faced at that point in time. To be honest with you, the car may have had a belt, but man, she didn't even put up a freaking fight, man. Like, we didn't get the energy that we're gonna get tonight. It wasn't like Marie Dakar was Estrada for Carissa Shields. It wasn't who has she had a rivalry with? You know what I'm saying? Who has she fought in her career to have a rivalry? Somebody who's equal or better than her. Because look, that's why I'm gonna be critical about this shit. Because I can say that Roman Gonzalez has fought a fighter that's equal or greater than him. He has. He has. He fought a fighter that's equal or greater. They criticized Roy Jones for not fighting a fighter that was equal or greater than him. They will criticize a lot of fighters for whatever they choose to. But when it comes to the pound for pound list and this scenario right here, this comparison, I got to still go with Chocolatito over Shield just because of the competitions he's faced at lighter weights, when he was able to do it, how he was able to do it. That's just my point, man. No, that's just me. I still have Chocolatito far ahead of Carissa Shields on pound for pound, especially if you're trying to transfer her over to the males list. It just can't happen. It can't happen. SB90 say, hell no, she ain't in front of Roman. Jack say, who in your opinion is the face of boxing right now? Standing at the door protecting the place with that jab and awkwardness. What? Look, let me first of all, let me take this Adrian Broner thing down. So Jack, as I read your comment. So you asked me who's the face of boxing right now. Standing at the door, protecting the palace with their jab and awkwardness. A person that's at the face of boxing is not standing at no door. They're already inside. Let's be honest. If you're talking about the face of boxing, you ain't standing at no door. It's other people below you standing at the door. They're standing right there to get to where you at. They want to know who's all in the room. If you're the face of boxing, you're already inside. You're on stage. All the lights are on you. Standing at the door, that doesn't add up to being the face of the boxing. The face of the boxing is you're not gonna get standing at the door. And then how can you be protecting the place with a jab? Like, I don't even know how a jab even came into play, bro. Like, come on, talk to me. Like, what are we talking about here? Protecting the place with a jab? I mean, come on, man. If you're talking about Deontay Wilder, you're talking about Canelo Alvarez, it's a lot of face of boxing. You know what I'm saying? Teofimo Lopez. It's a lot of face of boxing, man. There's a lot of face of boxing that's going on right now. It's according to what you're looking for as far as your boxing entertainment. That's it. Like, like say for instance, the Charlo brothers. Jamel Charlo can be more of a face of boxing if his personality was different. He wasn't a loose cannon with his mouth. And even though I've been on record say, hey, it don't matter this boxing, you can talk your shit. But I'm saying the people really cannot connect. You know what I'm saying? It's really no attraction to connect with him because it's pretty much, once again, another black fighter flaunting materialistic items on IG and shit. I mean, we can't relate to that because a lot of people, especially during this pandemic, they don't have what you have. So the only way they're going to be able to connect with you is that you talk to them, is that you communicate, and don't talk down on them. Don't talk like people inferior and shit. And you might get that from the Charlo brothers sometime. I've heard it on their lives. They be talking to cats like they ain't shit. But then again, Canelo barely say anything. Canelo barely say anything. And he get all the love in the world. He barely say anything. He speaks Spanish even though he know English. And he do what Canelo do. Teofimo Lopez, he's more outspoken, brash, but yet you gotta look at it. People gravitate to different ethnicities when they talking. Seriously. Like Teofimo Lopez talking shit right now. People gravitate and say, oh, okay, he's getting a little arrogant and pompous or whatever since winning the belts. And I'm saying to myself, that's okay. He should be doing it. But the shit he's been saying, people are somewhat like, okay, I got you. He can say that. He's did what he did. But then if I switch it over to Wilder, Wilder also earned the right to talk his shit, but people frown upon it for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those eras where people are so finicky, man, on who's talking trash, who connecting with the audience. And I can really say that Deontay Wilder connect with the audience really professionally, seriously. Even when some shit may be going on, he's been professional when I seen him. Teofimo Lopez, I can say the same thing. I know it's a back and forth, him and Wilder, he said some shit, but I'm just saying, I can say the same thing with people that I met in person. Oscar Valdez, cool people. You know what I'm saying? Even Terrence Crawford, bro. People get on Terrence Crawford for not saying too much and all that. But listen, I ran in Terrence on the elevator and tried to get an interview. All the times I ran in him and he gapped me off. He just brushed me off rather and didn't do an interview. And then when he finally did it, he said, you know what? I got you, man. I said, Terrence, can I get one today? He said, okay, later on. I just thought he was bullshitting. He was with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur was about to be, he's about to weigh in. He said, I got you. So I just took it like, okay, he's brushing me off again. He came and got me. He said, okay, cool. Let's go, man. And then he told all the other media that was running up. He said, no, this is just for him. Not y'all. It's just his interview. That's it. And that's what I will respect from Terrence. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't talk a lot to the media. But at that point in time, I was like, I respect grown man shit. I did. I respect grown man shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? I did. I respect the way he did that. It had to be maybe like 8 to 10 other media that was behind me, that walked up with me, rather. And he basically said, hey, I'm only talking to him. I ain't talking to no one of y'all. He said, I ain't talking to nobody else. And he wasn't even stuck up like short. You know what I'm saying? How people can be short with your questions, hurry up and get this shit. No, man, he was cool, bro. He was cool, man. I salute him for that. Seriously, but I can't say the same thing about Errol Spence, though. I can't. We talking about two brothers. I'm black, they black. I can't say the same about Errol Spence, man. Real talk. I'm gonna leave it at that. Trick said fantasy fight at light heavyweight. W says Bob Foster versus Leon Spinks. Who wins and why? That's not something that, my mind. You asking me about a light heavyweight, Bob Foster versus Leon Spinks. You asking me about older fighters, which I understand. That's where you lie. Even though I'm older than you. Said that's where you lie. But yeah, we'll have to definitely talk about that on another time because this is like more so totally opposite than Estrada Gonzalez, you know. And to be honest with you, with those two names, I would definitely get back with you on that. It's just something I don't want to get knee deep into the older school fighters at this point in time because a lot of people that's on here will probably say, well, we need a little bit more history. Like if you're talking about the older fighters, I would want to pull up some of the criteria. I would want to pull up some of their videos and do some comparisons. I don't want to just give you a cliff note, run of the mill type rundown on Bob Foster and Leon Spinks. I mean, that's a lack of respect. So actually, the face of boxing is Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. Since Lewis heavyweights haven't had the attention they have now, but Fury is the pound for pound best in 2021. And of course, that's your opinion. It's wrong, but that's your opinion now, Jack. It's wrong. Anyone who's putting Anthony Joshua as the face of boxing, that's your bias. It doesn't upset me at all. It's just you wasting time typing that shit up. That's absolutely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then Tyson Fury, did you hear? Tyson Fury just came out and he's confused as to what his next point of direction is. Where should he go from here? It's like a crossing guards there at the intersection. He's letting all the other cars go, letting people cross the road, but they standing in front of Tyson Fury's vehicle. You stay your ass right here. You ain't going nowhere. But the light is green. I know. We still got some shit to take care of. I get to you. I'm going to direct all this other traffic first. I mean, Tyson Fury cannot do anything because Deontay Wilder has put the anchor down a long time ago. You know when that anchor was seated? The 23rd of February, 2020. All right. That's when it began. The day after his fight, he had 30 days to enact his rematch clause. Within that 30, he did so. I know who wins between Wilder and Fury in the rematch. I got Wilder. I truly believe Wilder can return to the ring and knock out Fury. As far as Wilder facing Anthony Joshua, once he has his WBC belt, I don't see Anthony Joshua taking the fight. I truly believe he will come off one of those belts with one of his mandatories. And I don't think he will actually step up to the challenge to face Deontay Wilder. That is a knockout that will end in brutal fashion, just like Alexander Povetkin and Dillian White. Guarantee it. You know what? I just said that because, we're talking about over in the UK. But if you really want to look at it, I think the time that's been invested with the BS ever since 2018 with Wilder and Joshua, I think at the end, just like Dominique Brazil, Joshua will never be the same after Deontay Wilder knocks his ass out. He'll never be the same. So he want to make sure it's near the end of his career. You know what I'm saying? He want to make sure that his wheelchair is customized correctly. And while he's in his recovery, he can have all the accommodations that he need for a safe return, back to the civilian life. Because we saw how Dominique Brazil looked against Otto Wallin. We saw how Bermane Stavern looked after he fought Wilder. They're never the same, man. The only person that's looking halfway decent, and it might be that Cuban blood, it's Luis Ortiz. I mean, come on, man. I seen Luis Ortiz take that right hand and the soul left his body. I mean, I know it's a spray of sweat, but that shit was his soul mixed in too. That's the only person that, in my opinion, that seemed to be handling stuff pretty decent. But you know, it might be a delayed reaction. Seriously. Are you still in your 40s, Drake? Okay. And I've been out my 40s for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I've been out, you still got, you trying to tell me you still got three? You got 3 years and 3 years left. Enjoy that, bro. Enjoy that. Romano, will Wilder versus Fury happen in September, December? That's a good question. You know, being that they would definitely have to get in fight camp. I can't see them being in fight camp right now with no fight. And people say all the time, well, you should still be in shape, right? Well, if you look at Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, just, juxtapose, right, off social media, Deontay Wilder looks in better shape. He always come in shape, period. So I really don't care how much weight Tyson Fury comes in the ring next time. I don't care. I really don't think it truly mattered extensively in the rematch. I just felt like the individuals that Deontay Wilder has fought in the past, he's been the lighter fighter. And I think on that night, his condition was degraded. No, it's not an excuse. I'm just saying off what I've seen. So therefore, if Tyson Fury comes in here 270 next fight, if they do fight, I think the styles alone, Deontay coming in there, a healthy Deontay Wilder, I don't think it'll matter, bro, where he comes in. So like Tyson Fury said, the longer he wait, he get depressed and thinking about suicide and shit. Nobody want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that because when you was going around here fighting Sefa Safari, Francisco Pianetta, no one heard nothing about suicide. When Deontay Wilder knocked your ass out, no one, heard anything about depression. When you fought freaking Tom Schwartz, nothing. You busy want to damn, act like that's your Tinder profile. If it was a man, he was going to here just acting like he was in love and shit. And then fought Otto Wallin, got your eye cut. You didn't say, "Oh man, when I got my eye cut up by Otto Wallin, you know what? I thought I was in depression." No, we didn't hear none of that. We didn't hear that shit when he was at the WWE. The only time we hear it now is when he once again dealing with Deontay. He was the one that was basically saying he'll never fight him again. But amazing how the tune has changed. The tune has absolutely changed, man. The shit has changed. He said, "Well, don't be shocked if Deontay Wilder is my next opponent. There's a lot of things going on behind the scene." No shit. No shit. There's a lot going on behind the scene. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really. I was looking for Troy Graham to return to the live chat. I haven't been able to see Troy pull up. Every other time I'm talking about something different. Well, I'll take that back. Before this Tyson Fury shit came out, Troy was on here. He did come up when I was talking about Deontay Wilder. But I just wanted him to explain the words of Tyson Fury because he was one of the guys who was basically saying that there was no arbitration. This is over. Deontay Wilder's career is done. He's broken. He just has so much like definitive answers for Deontay Wilder returning back for a trilogy. It's not going to happen. We're almost close to seeing Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. So I'm saying to yourself, why we ain't seeing that shit then? Why when you look on BoxRec, you don't see a S for schedule? Because he can't do anything until this court case is over with. Do you think having Crunk style in the gym? Please clarify. Do you think having Crunk style in your gym helps? Okay. I never really mentioned the Crunk style. You know what I'm saying? We all know that was just like looking in a kaleidoscope, It really didn't the moving, the shuffling of pieces. It really didn't mean shit of him, moving around team members on leading up to this fight, bringing in Sugar Hill as if that really mean anything. Because I'm gonna tell you, if if that was the case with that Crunk Gym, it'd be a lot more boxers lined up outside to get that special potion, and it'll be reflecting over here on BoxRec. That's not the case. That's not the case. And definitely Wilder beats Fury. Definitely, Jack. And the only thing I can tell you, Jack, is make sure you stay close. Hashtag stay close. Stay close to the live chat so you can return when this fight is made, if it is. So come in on the same name. Don't change it up. And if the fight happened, just return back to the live chat. And if your pockets are a little bit heavy, put a bet up there. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say. Yeah, WCS 47. Don't look it. And on my live Instagram, run 30 to 40 minutes every day. For sure, man. You in great shape, bro. I give you that. I'm not saying anything as far as your age. I'm just saying like you're still in your 40s. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And some people don't really think about getting older because they're taking care of their body in the first place. Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's according to what you did in your life. You have any injuries and all that other stuff. I can remember when AJ lost to Andy Ruiz. No one was asking him to retire, but as soon as Wilder loses, he has to leave the sport. People love to incorporate the double standard. You ain't never lied about that, because I asked the same thing, Trick. I said, what he just mentioned. Anthony Joshua looked worse than Deontay Wilder when he was leading up to his stoppage. Like Anthony Joshua was confused. There's a lot going on. Like he was mentally broken. He really didn't know what direction to go in that fight. But he chose to quit. He didn't really have the confidence to carry on in that fight. Andy Ruiz had absolutely broken that man and forced him to surrender. And when the referee was in his face, and Joshua spit out his gum shield, he wasn't trying to continue in that fight. But no one was running up and saying, hey. No one was doing the Anthony Durrell. That's our champion. Throw in the towel. No, nobody. I ain't hear anybody running on the sidelines talking about throwing the towel. I didn't hear none of that. I didn't hear people talking about, Anthony Joshua's career is over. The only thing I heard was, oh man, we just can't wait. Anthony Joshua's gonna get those belts back. But what I can attest to is the fact that his fans were so freaking quiet during that time when Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz. His fans were so quiet. Serious. It was almost like the typhoon had rolled through. And like all the wildlife had been swept away. It was so quiet. You didn't hear the birds chirping in the morning. I mean, it was the Joshua fans had went into hibernation. They had basically admitted themselves to seclusion. Real talk. And then when the fight was announced, when the rematch, they was getting closer, then they start peeking their heads out of the dang ground like they're peeking up like a groundhog. They start peeking around looking to see what was around them. That's when I seen them come back out. But the criticism was that Andy Ruiz was a last minute replacement. Joshua didn't prepare for Andy Ruiz. Even though him and Jarrell Miller is somewhat the same stature, Jarrell is a big boy. I'm not gonna lie. And a lot of me say Jarrell Miller potentially could have did the same thing Andy Ruiz did. I'm not sure now. Both of them have their problems, their pros and cons, and discipline when it comes to training. But who's to say Jarrell Miller couldn't have did the same thing Andy Ruiz did? Seriously. But he just couldn't get past the damn cup and urine. Seriously. But they didn't sit up there and say his career was over. They just said that we just can't wait till he stepped back in the ring. This is the one that people like, Jack and all them, they glorify, but they never want to talk about the comparison of heavyweight champs. They just want to look at who beat who. And when they look at who beat who, now that they can brag about Fury getting a victory over Deontay Wilder, but yet they're not bragging about why Fury hasn't had another fight since February 22nd. Let's brag about that. Let's brag about the king himself standing on his throne and say, you know what, this ain't going anywhere. Because from what I was hearing, a lot of people saying he was scared, he was done, he'll never fight again. And like when I hear them say he'll never fight again, they were saying it with such confidence. He'll never fight again. He's done. He's over. He's broken. Deontay Wilder broke his will. Like I'm looking at Wilder when the fight was stopping, he was still throwing punches, but I'm hearing these people acting like he was Joshua. Like it's a different reactiveness that happened when the fight was near closure. When Anthony Joshua was being summoned, did he know what the fuck was going on? He was looking both ways, left and right. Huh? Me? You talking to me? I know no English. No say, amigo. He didn't know what the fuck was going on. You talking to me? I don't know, mate. Nah. I don't know. He had that mumbling and shit. Deontay was telling Kenny Bayless, like, man, no, why you stop the fight, man? What the fuck? No, man, that's fucked up. He's like, no, man, your corner threw in the towel. And that's when he went directly over to Mark Breland. He started to question him. It wasn't no hesitation. It wasn't no stumbling. It was the same direct route over to Mark Breland and say, damn, what the fuck you do that for? Like, why you throwing the towel? Mark Breland say, Wilder, you using that stupid word again. You know what I'm saying? Like I let that shit slide first. But see, now you're using stupid. Obviously, you know you in the company of adults and don't respect what platform you're on. You continue to use that word stupid. It's a difference between you thinking about the word and then typing it out. When you type it out and press enter, that means you meant it to be disrespectful. But you want to join the platform to do what? Argue? You don't even know how to converse with another grown man. You keep on talking about somebody stupid. You need to work on some tact, big dog. I appreciate you being in the live chat, and I'm not being sensitive about anything, but dude, you keep on talking this S word. I just don't know where that's coming from because I haven't even addressed you like that. W says so many wilder haters. That guy called Boxing Guru is the worst. I met that guy at the Charlo versus Adams fight, and he was talking foolish, but I saw Wilder roll up on him, and he was all nice. That's how they are, Trick. They hate the shit out of Wilder. But yet, they miss the bomb squad. They see that 6'7" goddamn heavyweight king in life, and they want to get an autograph. See, the one thing about it, unless Tay Jones is somewhere close by, or Deontay Wilder has taken the time during the pandemic to get familiar with faces that's on him that's been dogging him out, he won't know. He won't know if these individuals are clowns or not, unless Tay is around, because Tay pretty much know face if those individuals once this shit is opening up, right? He'll pretty much know the ones that was showing their ass during this pandemic and talking shit about him. He damn near know the whole crew. You know what I'm saying? Hold on for a second, bro. I don't have a problem dropping a link, man. We're not gonna come on here and argue about some dumb shit. Just give me 1 minute. I'm almost back, man. Had to straighten something up right quick. Okay. So the link is dropped. There go the link. If you're not who you say you are, it doesn't matter because I'm just going to put you back in the background. You know what I'm saying? So it really ain't going to matter. I don't care who you are. You can come in on a different account and say the shit you say. It ain't going to matter, bro. The link is there. So go right ahead. Yeah, what's good?
How are we, mate? Good. Keeping
was good,
safe, healthy. I'm from Australia, so other side of the planet.
Okay, so the topic of discussion is Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. I mean, Anthony Joshua, right? So you say that you feel deep down inside that Wilder cannot defeat Tyson Fury. I understand, but when it comes to Anthony Joshua, what is your
Wilder
opinion
beats.
on that?
Wilder knocks Anthony Joshua into next week. Anthony Joshua is a stiff fighter, flat-footed, pretends to be something he's not.
Yeah.
Wilder throws a right hand early rounds, knocks him out. Anybody that tries to fight Deontay Wilder, anyone that's awkward, that's willing to come forward, Wilder's in trouble because he hasn't got a boxing IQ. He's got a jab and he's got a right hand. Not only that, he's mastered the distance and able to time that right hand. He did it in the first fight with Fury. Fury, theoretically probably wasn't 100%. Second fight, he had time to prepare, had a few more warm-up fights, and he came in. But Wilder, I rate Wilder.
What percentage would you give him if he wasn't 100%? What percentage would you give him?
What do you mean?
You said he wasn't 100% when he fought Wilder the first time, right? So what percentage would you give Fury stepping in there?
I would have given Fury... See, let me tell you something. I would have given Fury 70, 75, 80%. Because Fury's never lost his ring IQ. He's always been a slick boxer through his whole career. I've watched Fury. I've seen him. He's always been a slick boxer. All the former heavyweight champions have said that. No one's ever disregarded his boxing IQ. He's a very good boxer. But he was very underdone, unfit. And for me, that was probably the best chance for Wilder to beat Fury. You're not going to beat Fury now. Wilder won't beat Fury, but he will beat Anthony Joshua.
What percentage do you give Wilder in the rematch?
I don't know. I think there was something went on.
Do you even follow
Yes,
him?
I do. I do, yes.
So you just said you don't know what percentage you will give Wilder, but you said 70% for Fury, though.
No, you didn't let me finish. I didn't finish what I said. What I'm saying is, for me, I've always followed Wilder. When he fought, Dominic Brazil, when he fought Stavern, when he fought Turner Louis, he fought all these boxers. He tomato cans in my opinions, but he knocked them out. Before the Klitschko fight, where Fury fought Klitschko, Wilder was the number one heavyweight in the world. He has been for the last 5 years.
Hold up. So in the last 10 years, 1 through 5, what do you rate the heavyweights that's been able to compete in the sport of professional boxing? What do you rate them on a scale of 1 to 5?
In the last 10 years?
Yeah, in the last 10 years. 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. What do you rate the heavyweights that's been competing, in the division? The heavyweights in general. What do you rate them on a scale of 1 to 5?
I'm realistic. Deontay Wilder,
quality. Huh?
Oh, I mean, what? I mean, Deontay Wilder. Listen, Deontay Wilder is the hardest heavyweight puncher in the history of boxing. I'm not
No, I'm
lying
just
to you,
saying. You
and no
said he
one's
bought
lying.
tomato cans, though. It's your language, man. You said tomato cans. So since we're talking about ragu, I just want to know, where do you rate the heavyweight division in general, overall, in the last 10 years of the competitors in the heavyweight division? Where do you rate it? 1 through 5, 5 being the highest. The lineup.
Probably 2. The
So if you
heavyweight
rated a
division's been
two,
dead. The heavyweight division has been dead since Lennox Lewis.
okay, let's just say what you're saying there, Jack. Um, the heavyweight division's been dead since Lennox Lewis. You rated a 2. So wouldn't you agree that Anthony Joshua has tomato cans on his record?
100%. And there's a difference between. Listen, in my opinion, Anthony Joshua's on his record, they're all tomato cans. Tyson Fury's record, tomato cans. Deontay Wilder's record, tomato cans. Because there's a difference between the A class and the B class. There's a huge difference at the moment between the top heavyweights and the middle heavyweights. You've got the top, Tyson Fury, for me, Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz, and Povetkin. And then the rest, B class fighters for me. You see? Because
But
Andy
how
Ruiz
do
is
you
no
have Tyson
pushover.
Fury at the top, though? This is what I always don't understand, Jack, and maybe you can help me understand it. How can individuals put Tyson Fury so easily at the top tier heavyweight, but yet when Deontay Wilder was reigning for over 5 years on his 11th defense, he was garbage, so to speak. He lacked the fundamentals and fragmentation of a pure boxer, which in the heavyweight division, there's no such thing as a pure boxer, because one punch can
Mm-hmm.
change the fight, right? But how does Tyson Fury is awarded as the fight of the year for fighting a heavyweight champion who wasn't shit per se to people? He wasn't that fighter that we wanted to see, but yet people talk about him even when he's out of the sport. So how can Tyson Fury get awarded and become fighter of the year for defeating the WBC heavyweight champion when before that they were saying he wasn't shit? How do you get awarded for that?
No.
That means Deontay Wilder was the
When you
shit, right?
say when you say before he fought Deontay Wilder, people were saying Fury was nothing. When Fury fought, when he fought blokes like Christian Hammer back in 2014-15, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson came out and said that he is the most awkward heavyweight and slick heavyweight they've ever seen. And if you're going to beat Tyson Fury, you need to knock him out. If you don't knock him out, you're not going to win. Come
Deontay
on.
knocked him out.
Did he keep him down?
Yeah, he did. I mean, thanks to Jack Reese serenading him with a motherfucking 15 count, you know what I'm saying? He was able to get up.
Come on. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I say. I say, come on, too. I'm like, Jack Reese, come on. You know better.
No, you can't say that the referee in America, away from his hometown, there's no favorisms towards the opposition.
How do you
I'm
know
in
that?
Australia.
Boxing has always been corrupt, bro. Boxing is always and always will be corrupt.
When has it ever been corrupt? Home fighter in America against the opposition. You name me a fight.
You never know what the plan of the process was with Deontay Wilder in that fight. Like, it was a lot of money. You know, there's a lot of people have vested. Check this out, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people have vested interest in where they was trying to go with the heavyweight division. And I said this, months and months ago about where they was trying to take this heavyweight division. They wanted it to be an all UK affair because they felt they can make the most money. And being that Deontay Wilder has always been a dangerous striker, period. He's always been a dangerous striker. They know damn well it would have been an easier fight for him to go over there and knock out Anthony Joshua.
He's the most dangerous heavyweight on the planet right now, laying in his bedroom. So anyone that comes out and say, you got these people that come out and say Deontay Wilder's finished. He's finished. You must be stupid, again, stupid, to think that Deontay Wilder's finished. Are you that corrupt? He had 11 title defenses, knocked out 39 of his opponents, and you're trying to tell me that the hardest puncher in heavyweight history is finished? No. No. And I don't rate him, but let me tell you, he will come, and he will come back.
He's knocked out all of his opponents there, Jack. All of them.
Yeah, he's not finished. He's not finished. But do I think he beats Tyson Fury? No, because Tyson Fury's a boxer. Does he beat Anthony Joshua, a stiff, stupid 1-2 left boxer? No, I believe he knocks him out. I believe Wilder knocks Anthony Joshua out, loses to Tyson Fury 99 times out of 100, but beats Anthony Joshua. Because the good old saying, styles make fights.
Yeah. So basically, we have to understand what the sweet science means too. The sweet science mean a mesh of different ingredients to come up with something, right? In the end, whatever it is, they need to come up with it. And that's what the sweet science is. Styles make fights. Styles come up different ways in the heavyweight division because you're talking about a more slower, heavier, stronger fighter. So we really can't dig at Deontay Wilder and what he was blessed with. He was blessed with be the most powerful puncher, but yet his composition is more so like a basketball player, as they call it. You know what I'm saying? He's slim, but he possesses that inhuman, that ungodly strength that he was blessed with. Tyson Fury doesn't. Tyson Fury, what he is blessed with, and you can attest to this too, Jack, is being a cheat.
No, I disagree.
So Tyson Fury isn't a cheat?
No, I disagree.
When you was talking about, check this out, when he was going into that fight with Klitschko, wasn't he already pending a drug test result from the Christian Hammer fight?
Pending, but the British Border Control kicked him out before he was proven guilty, and he was never proven guilty. It was all He was
suspended though. He was suspended.
Yeah, Canelo has done it twice, and everyone wants to jump on his
man Tyson Fury though, Jack. We ain't talking about Canelo.
Yeah, but you've spoken about Canelo before.
I know two of Canelo's test samples came back, but we're talking about Tyson Fury though. Was he not suspended?
He was suspended and he retired before he was suspended. So I don't understand.
Man, we're not doing that. We're not doing that because you need to identify that he is an absolute cheat, and he got exposed for it.
Hang on.
And he was doing cocaine, and he was doing pads, and he's a cheat.
No. I've watched your lives before.
Never been accused of being a cheater,
brother. I've watched your lives before, and you've backed Canelo, and you've said he's a pound for pound best, and he's been a drug tweet.
This topic of discussion has nothing to do with Canelo. You brought up the fact that he tested positive twice.
All right,
we know that.
Okay, so that's that. So forget about the drugs.
Yeah, we know Canelo tested positive on both his samples, and his suspension was retro back to February. I know that already.
Good. All right, so that's okay. So first, the next thing's next, right? Now, forget about the whole Fury was after Christian Hammer, blah blah blah. Right?
It don't blah blah blah. Right. It's correct. He did pop on that fight, dog.
Not on the fight. Not on the Klitschko fight. No way. I disagree.
I said the Christian Hammer fight, bro. Come on. Don't try to mix my words up. I said the Christian Hammer fight, he was pending results when he stepped in with the Klitschko. He had an appeal going, and he stepped in there to fight because, of course, they wanted the money, and they wanted that fight to happen, so they allowed him to fight under appeal.
Because they all obviously thought that Klitschko would win, obviously, just to debunk it. A bit similar to Anthony Joshua and Big Baby Miller, just
why did he retire again there, Jack? He retired because he didn't want to get suspended, right?
I live
absolutely. Listen, he was still in his 20s there, Jack. He was still in his 20s, bro.
I live on the other side of the world, right? And let me tell you one thing. Here, everybody, boxing clubs, where I fight, everyone here, everybody knows that Fury is technically the king of boxing. Everybody knows that. No one knew that 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
Is this in real life or somewhat like a avatar type setting? Like,
No,
you know
this
how
is
they hook
serious.
people up to
Thi-
monitors and shit?
no,
It
no,
just,
no. This is serious. This is similar to when you watch Mayweather boxing YouTube account when he interviews all these Mayweather. They all say Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. He is the number one.
okay.
There's no disputing that. You can't dispute that.
Oh,
How
there's
can you
disputing it.
dispute that? How?
There's
How?
disputing it.
He
42,
listen,
42
brother.
victories, right?
Hang on, brother.
42 victories
Hang
and zero
no no.
defeats, right?
Hang on,
And they were
brother.
still
Hang on,
giving the
brother.
same criticism that they gave him when he lost to Tyson Fury, but more.
Hang
They
on,
was
brother.
criticizing the man when he was undefeated.
No. I've never criticized Deontay Wilder
I'm talking about
personally,
people in
but
general,
yeah,
his
only
naysayers.
only yeah, only dum dums do that. That don't know anything about anything, right? They don't know whether they've dropped their shit in 2 seconds, right? Let me tell you one thing. Fury has won. Listen, if you won the titles, mate, right? You won them, right? You won the titles. You went away. You got in trouble. You had to vacate the titles, and the titles were put up for two other individuals, right? You won the titles in the ring, and then someone else won them, right? And then you came back, and then you won the WBC title, the title that you didn't win, but you've won the other belts, and you've never lost them in the ring. For me, I would want to beat you. I would want to beat you because I've got those titles that you won in the ring. You won them in the ring, not me. I've never beaten you for them. Fury has never lost the WBA, IBF, and the WBA titles in the ring.
And don't
He's never
forget the
lost them.
lineal. Don't forget the lineal, the ghost lineal. Go ahead, bring the
No,
lineal
the
in there
lineal,
too.
the lineal is bullshit. No one's
No, but you got
lineal.
to bring it in
Lennox,
because everybody else does.
who, what,
So
how?
doesn't the merit of a true
Lineal,
champion comes
lineal,
down to
no,
defending your titles?
lineal, lineal exists. Lineal exists back when Lennox Lewis won it, right? Because he had all the belts and he retired with all the belts.
But this ain't a Lennox Lewis
No one.
topic though. And
No, but
Tyson Fury
why?
isn't Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis was knocked out by Hakeem Rothman and came back and got his belts back the right way. Tyson
Hmm.
Fury's never picked up his titles in the defense. Never. He's
Has he
never
lost
defended a
it?
single title.
Has he lost any of his belts in the
So
ring though?
listen, you
And
can
has
ask
he
the
lost?
question, has he ever lost them? It goes into the same look, it goes into the same result. It goes deep down in the bucket of shit when you look at how his titles was taken from him. He was
Fury's
distasteful. He was distasteful as a champion. He humiliated what he was supposed to be representing as a heavyweight champion. He didn't even defend one title. Plus, he was on cocaine and on peds. It was disgraceful. Period. He should have, like in the military, you get released in a dishonorable discharge. That's what he got. He
I
was
bet you
released
Anthony
under a dishonorable discharge from the professional boxing.
I bet you
So he
Anthony
can go out there for
Joshua
3 years.
I bet you Anthony Joshua is on way more than that. He's on what Lucas Brown is on. All that crap. Anthony Joshua is a fraud. And he's
Well,
a
tell
con
them to
he's
stop
con
giving therapeutic exemptions over there if you believe he's on that, though.
Anthony Joshua's a fraud.
You know, the
People
only one that's
back
not a
when
fraud out of the
hang
three
on.
top heavyweights. Look, you got Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua. You know, the only one that's truly not a fraud at all, that did everything he's supposed to do as a professional fighter and represented the sport with dignity, Deontay Wilder. That's it. Because
Going
you just
by.
proved my point.
Going.
You just proved my point. You think Anthony Joshua was a juice head, which a lot of people say that, right? Even when he fought Carlos Takam, they agreed at
Oh yeah.
235, and Anthony Joshua
Goosehead
came
fuck.
there at 254 with no cardio, right?
Piece of shit, if you ask me.
I'm just saying, he didn't truly win his gold medal round before he became a professional. He lost that. But since it's the London Olympics, they gave him the damn gold medal. Then Tyson Fury comes over here and goes in with Klitschko, and he's absolutely a tub of donkey piss. He's dirty every which way. He bathed in that shit before he went in the ropes. He leaves the sport for 3 years and picks up like 400 pounds. And then people come back, and then he decides to come back to the sport and say he had a mental illness and depression, and basically disrespects those who actually have depression and mental illness.
All right.
You know, he's a scoundrel, man. He's a
All
motherfucking
right.
scoundrel.
Okay. You know what? Okay.
But
You
Deontay
know what?
Wilder isn't. He don't have a criminal record, dog.
This is what I'll put to you. This is what I'll put to you and everyone else. Right. Forget about. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Will be nice. Here you go, Alan Babich. Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker had the belts. You spread them out, spread the belts out. For me, if I was to put all my eggs in a basket, and who would come out on top in all the heavyweight tournaments, Tyson Fury. He's got more in his arsenal. He's a boxing scientist, in my opinion, just like Floyd Mayweather.
He's also
He's a heavyweight Floyd Mayweather. He's a what?
He's a drug chemist too. He's a boxing scientist and a drug chemist.
You think he's on drugs right now? Is that what you're saying?
I think he might be on something, man.
So if he's on, every boxer's on something. You know that, right?
No, I don't.
Because
Deontay Wilder's never had a test to come back. You know what I'm saying? He never had a test. You yourself believe that Anthony Joshua is dirty right now, which.
Oh yeah, he's got Eddie Hearn and Eddie Hearn. You know Eddie Hearn. He's a fraud. He's. I said weeks ago. I said that Anthony Joshua. I was in a boxing podcast a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I said to him, and there was about 150 people watching, and everyone in the whole fucking chat, they said to me, in the chat and on the live, they're like, "You're talking crap," because I said that Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua won't happen. I have a feeling it won't happen because this fight is bigger than what it's going to be right now. It needs to wait because it needs fans. And not only that as well, it's because of Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum have never got along. It won't happen. That fight will not happen in 2021. I guarantee it. The biggest fight right now in the heavyweight division is Derek Chisora and Joseph Parker. Right, at the moment, that can be made. But the biggest fight in boxing in the last 20 years is Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. But it won't happen this year. And I hate talking about that because it hurts me. Because that fight needs to be made. It needs to be made. Needs to be made. For the history of boxing.
The fight between Joshua and Fury needs to be made?
100% it needs to be made, but it won't be made.
Why though? He already has a loss. Joshua already has a loss.
Well,
Joshua
lost. You've got a
replacement, Jack.
Yeah, you've got a great point. You've got a great fucking point. You're being
deconditioned Mexican heavyweight that chose to cash out on the rematch.
You're being on it, and I like that. People are not talking honest like the way you're talking. I agree with you. Anthony Joshua dropped his bollocks. He's dropped his balls already. He's lost. People like Andy Ruiz, Dillian White, Deontay Wilder, they're the ones that deserve these opportunities. Not blokes like Anthony Joshua where they've already dropped it when they had the chance to prove themselves against a tomato can, supposedly. Andy Ruiz is not a tomato can. He's never been a tomato can, in my opinion. No. When he fought Joseph Parker and he got robbed in New Zealand. He won that fight by 4 or 5 rounds.
He looked like a tomato in the rematch, though.
Oh, yeah, because Anthony Joshua did what he was supposed to do in the first fight.
What, run? Show up with Asics on? I mean, what are you talking about, bro? Come on, man. Some of what you're saying, I respect for real. And then you just sway off, way off into the,
that's what I'm saying.
Brush. You go into the brush, man.
Anthony Joshua did what he was supposed to do, crowd pleaser, supposed to do in the first place. Correct. Run around, pretend something that he's not, sort of thing, try and pretend. But if he faces someone like Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury, the number 1 and number 2 in the world, he will get found out, won't he? It's one of those things. There's no doubt Fury and Deontay Wilder are the only 2 top heavyweights that have faced each other since Klitschko and Tyson Fury and Klitschko AJ. Those 2 are the only ones that stepped up and faced each other. So how can people say that Fury and AJ or Fury's ducking AJ? This interview that just came out recently with IFL TV, Fury saying, I'll fight twice this year. I don't care if that fight happens. Come on. We all know Tyson Fury. This is where the mind games start. He's a tricky. He knows how to do it. He plays these sorts of games in other fights. I've seen it. He's
I mean, he
a
can play all the
real.
games he wants, though. We just know that Deontay Wilder, is the one that's standing his ground, man. And he's anchored in his rematch clause for some time now, and they can't do anything about it. He can't do anything
It's in
about
the
it.
court. It's and it's Shelley Finkler that's the one that's keeping Wilder. Personally, I think it's disgraceful because I want an undisputed bout because it's never happened since 1998, 1999. But the thing is, you either want this big fight to happen between Anthony Joshua and Fury, and then
What's
the winner
disgraceful
vacates.
about it, though, Jack? I mean, talk to me. What's
What's
disgraceful
just
about
what?
it? Is
Okay,
cheating disgraceful?
I'll tell you. Yeah.
Is cheating disgraceful? Yes, it is.
Who
So
cheated? Who
why aren't you
cheated?
mentioning that?
Who cheated in the Fury Wilder fight?
Man, come on, bro. You know who cheated. It wasn't Wilder.
No,
So process of
nobody
elimination.
cheated.
One half
No,
eliminated leaves the other half. You know what I'm saying? One half of that equation in the matchup. Tyson Fury, point blank, period. If he didn't cheat, then why are all the videos? Why are all the steel frames of his gloves and everything else? And Ricky Hatton pulling up his gloves, his freaking hand wraps showing. Your hand wraps don't supposed to be showing on your gloves. The same glove. It doesn't supposed to happen. So I mean, his team disconnecting the live feed into the damn locker room. It was just so much going on that night. It was wrong. It was an ominous night. And
so
the conductor of all of it was Tyson Fury.
so you think? No, I disagree with all that. But would
He a
you?
cheat. I don't think I know, man. He cheated, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a
Good.
cheat
But
in life.
so you would put your money. So if you in the next fight, the third fight, I think will happen. I don't think the AJ Fury fight will happen. I think Deontay Wilder Fury third fight will happen, and it will go the way that I thought it would go the first fight. You look at the 12th round in the first fight.
Okay.
That's the way. That's when I thought Fury's going to come back and stomp Deontay Wilder. The 12th round. Before that, I was like, "Whoa, this is crap." Right?
So you have a pretty decent
He's.
occupation, right?
Oh yeah, I knew. Look, the
No,
12th
I'm just
round.
asking. Out of respect, you have a pretty decent occupation, right?
Correct.
So therefore, if you are so on the side of Tyson Fury, if Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder is made for a trilogy, what you want to bet on it, bro?
I will bet fucking everything on that Fury will
What's
do
everything? I
exactly what
mean,
he
you
did
say you
last
have a
time.
pretty decent occupation, but you might work at Dollar Tree. Like, what you bet on it?
Let
We
me
can make
tell
a
you,
bet right now. We'll make a bet right now.
I've already lost.
I don't want to care
With
what you lost. I'm talking about what you're about to lose. I don't want to care what you lost. If you are confident about your best heavyweight, Tyson Fury, me, the fighters that I support heavy, I have total confidence in what their ability is. So that
Yeah,
ability
you're
with
delusional.
Deontay Wilder,
You're delusional with Wilder.
okay, I'll be
You're
delusional.
delusional.
Okay, so let's just
Mate,
say that's the case.
you don't have to
Delusional.
bet anything, but you just have to know
No, 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 no.
facts.
You can't dictate what I want to do with my money. I want to prove to you
Yeah.
that
No.
since you're so confident in Tyson Fury, what are you willing to bet on it?
Put your money on the table and look at it.
No.
Stare at
I'm
it.
telling you, just give
Because
me a number so we can move on with the conversation. Because I hear a
nobody's.
lot of people that they want to big up their fighter, but they won't even they won't take any risk. They won't do anything. They won't even put any
Okay,
money.
but
They won't do
hang on.
anything.
You've come out. Hang on. You've come out. I've given you compliments about Wilder. You haven't come out and said anything that Fury. Tell
I
me
don't
what
have nothing
Fury.
good to say about. Look,
What problems does Fury create for Wilder? Come on, tell me.
what problems? It's
Because
according to who
I've said to you.
wraps his hands and put his gloves on. That's the problems he
No.
presents to Wilder. It's according to who wraps his hands and put his gloves on.
You
I'm gonna be honest
look it
with
up.
you.
Fury's 6'9" and his hands are huge. He's
Okay.
like huge. And by the way, if you ever boxed in your life, when you put your hands in the gloves, you can't actually close your fucking fist and
Okay.
hold your fist near the opening of the glove because you'll break your wrist or your whole hand.
Have you seen pictures in his other fights with Sefa Safari, Francisco Pianetta, the way
There's
that you've
no
seen
doubt.
in the
No,
Deontay Wilder fight?
I haven't finished yet. I haven't finished. But what I'm saying, I wanted to finish what I was saying.
Go ahead.
You just let me finish. You put your hands in the glove when people were trying to, try and make something that it's not. Put your hands in the glove. You try and You try and turn your fist as a knuckle inside the glove at the start of the opening. You're gonna break your wrist. Not possible, and it makes it flappy. That's not possible, right? But what is possible? What is possible is taking the padding out of the gloves. Now, it definitely looked like that in both fights, right? The padding, you could tell when he walked into the ring and, walking out in the second fight, the Patsy Cline song, Crazy, you could tell that his pads are out of the glove. No one
Who?
has to be Fury. I
Okay.
back Fury. I think he's technically, a great boxer. Very
So you agree he's
technical.
a
Very,
cheater then?
very. I would say you can't cheat in America because they got the board of
What?
contention. They've got the people. They've got people
Panama Lewis cheated
in.
in America plenty of times. That's why they banned him.
Yeah,
What are you
but you've
saying?
got people. You've got the board. You've got the boxing board of controls in the room that are watching the clubs being padded up, and also in the Fury glove wrapping, you didn't have Mark Breland. You had the other guy in there, his other trainer.
JD's. JD's.
Yeah, you didn't have Mark Breland in there. You had the other guy, and
But
it was
what does
on
he have to
camera.
do with the person who absolutely commits to cheating? Like he commits to cheating. Let's just say JD's didn't have the experience to watch or look for the specifics in these gloves, right? And he might have been a bit inexperienced, okay? But still, it comes down to the boxer. You still have a decision to make. Do you cheat or you don't? It's still against the integrity of the sport if there's little to
Hmm.
be talked about. It still goes against the integrity of the sport.
Wilder's
You going out there to
Wilder's.
harm your opponent,
It was never
right?
proven, so you can't
You're
say
right. You're right.
it is or it
But the
isn't. But
video
I
and
would
stills
say,
don't lie.
yeah, I'm a Fury. I'm a Fury. Obviously, I'm a Fury supporter at the moment. I'm backing him and a devil's advocate at the moment. I would say that, as a boxer myself, I would say that the gloves obviously they look like, especially in the first fight more than the second fight, but. And not only that as well, the Wilder gloves as well, they looked exactly the same. I don't know what was going on in both camps, but there was a lot of fishy stuff going on in that second fight. I don't know who had to do with anything, what was going on, the referee situation, the promoters of the fight. Bob Arum has a lot to do with boxing nowadays, probably too much in my opinion. But again, I still say that Fury's technically the best boxer in the heavyweight division. So doesn't
But
matter
let's
what.
just say Fury does have technical ability that somewhat supersedes that of Deontay Wilder. Okay,
Mm,
let's just say that's true. Did
mm.
he lose the first fight if Jack Reese wouldn't have extended the count? He loses.
No,
Yeah, he knocks him out, bro. It's
because
done. It's over. It's over. It's a wrap.
no, but yeah, but you know, if you said if he doesn't, if he gets up, did you say, or if he
No,
doesn't get
no. I
up?
said if Jack Reese doesn't extend the count,
He didn't. What do you mean he extended the count? I don't understand.
man, it was a long count, man. You know what referee that you can look at in
Wilder,
previous fights of that magnitude, there,
Wilder,
Jack, of that
Wilder,
magnitude, that gets on their knees
Wilder,
and
Wilder
pray.
wasn't. Wilder wasn't in his corner before the referee started counting.
It doesn't matter. You pick up the count from the ring, but yet you can still
No,
take your time. You can pick up the count from the timekeeper on the side, and then you can take your time on how you count. Let's just say Wilder took his time going over there to the corner, and Jack Reese picked up 4. Jack Reese can say 4,
let me
5,
tell you something, right? Let me tell you something.
6 to semi
Right,
semi,
with the
7.
sport I play, hang on. With the sport I play at the moment, right? With my footy, right? Football, I play footy, not soccer, just Australian rules football, right? We've always been taught, and you may disagree with it, right? But when the umpires, when the referees make the decision in umpiring, when they make the decision, you can't change it, won't happen, whenever, accept the decision and move on. Get on with it. You need to move on quick, right? You have to accept the official's decision straight away, because in our game, You can't just sit there and argue with the fucking referee. It's not going to work because you've already had 2 goals kicked on you. Accept the referee's decision, put your hands up and keep going. He wasn't in his corner quick enough, first of all. The person that was refereeing on the outside the ring, that was counting before the referee did, was way too slow. I agree. But you can't argue with the referee. Continue the fight. Anybody else Wilder knocked down stayed down. Fury didn't stay
in
down.
that manner, though, not in that manner for which Tyson Fury was knocked out, bro.
I don't know.
He was
Fury
knocked out.
just he got back up. I don't understand how he did. I
Yeah,
was
we
shocked.
definitely know he got back up. That's not even debate.
We know he got champion back up in itself. That's a champion in itself.
That's a motherfucker that was basically ushered back into life. Fury was dead. Fury was dead at the moment, and Jack Reese resuscitated him back into the damn life of boxing. Period.
For you to sit there and say Jack Reese has cheated, you should be ashamed of yourself.
I told him to his face, bro. You should be ashamed of yourself. YouTube video. I interviewed him and I told him to his face. I think it was a long count there, Jack. I'm not just bullshitting you. I told him to his face, bro.
Yeah, but to say that, you should be ashamed of yourself. He's a fucking all-time great referee. He's a great referee.
So you trying to say Jack Reese is an all-time great referee and he himself doesn't have any flaws when it comes to a fight of that magnitude? Why would you be on your knees, though?
He's done it multiple times in fights.
Check this out. Dillian White gets knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. It's no getting on your knees. It's no motherfucker, bringing back to life. Dillian was counted out. Done. Amir Khan knocked the fuck out. Tyson Fury was knocked out. Tyson Fury, we need to check his freaking accounts and see that he wired Jack Reese some post-fight money for bringing him back to life.
So what you're saying, what you're doing at the moment is you are completely, right, dismissing all the former great heavyweights that have come out and said Fury's a different sort of breed, and you're completely dismissing all them. Some of them have said, hang on. Some of them have said Fury's, in their opinion, the best technical boxer since Muhammad Ali. Some of them have said Fury, to beat him, you have to knock him the fuck out, or you're in trouble. Right? Some of the former great heavyweights have said that. So you're dismissing all of that. Fury's a cheat, fucking pussy.
Who's the former heavyweights? I mean, I know people are saying what they're saying about boxing, and some people, like I'm not there on site. I don't know if they had something to drink or two before they took the mic.
Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Holyfield, they've all come out, mate.
And Holyfield has said what, man? Please, I ain't never heard Holyfield say that Tyson Fury was Muhammad, could be compared to Muhammad Ali and shit like that. Never heard it.
Mike Tyson said it in an interview with Joe Rogan.
I'm glad you said that with Mike Tyson. This is my point to Mike. Mike is one of those guys who's obviously under the influence. Okay, so we don't know if he was on the frog or the blue bonnet chronic. We don't know what he was having when he stepped in there with Joe Rogan, because we know Joe Rogan is all about that shit too. The euphoria of smoking it up and everything. So Mike Tyson's been known to say some controversial shit. That's Mike Tyson. Period. That's Mike Tyson. So I don't even, to be honest with you there, Jack, I don't even think Mike Tyson is in good favor with Deontay Wilder anyway. I don't even think he like him. If he did, he would have had some positive shit to say about him. But
Holyfield is probably the only one that I resurrected to when he said anything. Not so much Mike Tyson because of what he does and all that sort of thing, but Holyfield was probably the one that said the thing that I probably agreed with to an extent. He said, coming into a Fury fight against Tyson Fury, you're either going there to knock him out or you're prepared to be outboxed.
Okay, I mean, I don't too much disagree with Fury not being able to box. I even said it in the past that he knows how to box. He has this way of throwing those, those hand
Awkward.
feints, hand feints, head feints. It's
Mm-hmm.
different type of feints. Some people can throw foot feints and shit. I mean, whatever they choose to get a reaction out of their opponent. Tyson Fury has this unique awkwardness, like you said, that he was able to throw these feints, and he can land his punches,
He
at the
can make you
opponent.
look stupid.
Yeah, he can make certain people look stupid, but he didn't make Deontay Wilder look stupid in their first fight, though. We're talking about the same language you're using now. It's the same thing they said when Deontay was 41-0 and 40 knockouts. They said the same thing.
Yeah, but you're what do you mean? For the first fight. Watch the first fight closely. The first 9 rounds, 10 rounds, and you'll understand what I'm saying. Fury dominated him, dominated.
So if he
And
dominated him,
so you don't believe. So you don't believe in.
why was it a draw then?
Nah. See, this is crazy because this is how I know someone has no idea. You don't believe in the whole 12 rounds.
I mean, put a
You don't.
name to
You don't.
someone, bro. Don't say it's me. Don't say it's someone and put a canopy over,
No.
because you can't
What
do
I'm
that.
saying.
Because
You're
if he
saying the 12th.
dominated, he was on the canvas twice there, Jack. And you're
Yeah.
trying to tell me those are the only 2 rounds that Deontay Wilder won during that fight?
The 11th. So hang on. The 11th and 12th were probably the Deontay Wilder's most successful rounds. The
So
other rounds he
you
got
trying to tell me
destroyed.
the round that he knocked him down first, which was like the 7th, right? I believe 5th or
Correct.
7th round. He don't get
Correct.
credit for that.
You get credit for that, but you can get knocked down in whatever round you want, but you can get outboxed for that round and still lose that round.
So you just gave. So right now we're looking at the knockdown, boom, 10-8 in the early knockdown, and then you gave him the 11 and 12th, right? So you give him 2 rounds
I
plus
gave
the 10-8.
I gave Deontay Wilder the 11th and Tyson Fury the 12th.
So you gave Tyson Fury the 12th with him being on his back,
on his back,
sunbathing under the
correct.
light. Okay.
Yeah, because before the knockdown he was dominating Wilder. He got knocked down and he got up and then he dominated Wilder.
Okay.
That's when I knew he would win the second fight. The last minute of the 12th round, I said Fury will win the next fight. I guarantee it.
Who was in Fury's corner though on the first fight? What was his chief trainer? What was his head trainer?
Mark Davison, I think.
It was Freddie Roach.
No, Freddie Roach wasn't his coach though. He wasn't the guy talking to him. He was a
Absolutely
soccer icon. No, he was not. You can watch the videos.
Think Freddie Roach is going to be in the corner and not say anything?
No.
Let's just say, for instance, he didn't say anything. It's still he was part of that training regime leading up to that fight.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also not only that as well. You got there's a few others that were there as well. I'm not sure who else was there. Who was that? What was his name? He fought Floyd Mayweather. He lost, the UK guy. Forgot his name.
Ricky Hatton, bro. Ricky
Hatton. That's it. Ricky Hatton was there as well.
Ricky the sit man. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Ricky Hatton was there as well. He had some fucking great fighters there. I've seen a video on YouTube, and I'll send it to you. And Floyd Mayweather had an opinion on the fight, and he said Fury, in the 9th round, he said Fury's outboxing him. Floyd Mayweather is the master
Once again,
of
you're
outboxing.
talking about voices that don't support Deontay Wilder, though. You're talking about voices who may look like Deontay Wilder in skin tone, but yet their voice is quite different when it comes out to supporting.
So you're saying even if they support him or not, Fury wasn't outboxing him?
No, Fury had bright moments.
Fury can't outbox. Fury can't outbox Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, the one that has his feet 4 meters apart from each other, has no boxing IQ at all.
Okay, he has no boxing IQ. Okay.
Oh, no doubt about that.
He has no boxing IQ, right?
He literally doesn't.
But listen, you said that numerous times already. I'm not going to sit here and argue that point because that's just subjective, right? Because boxing IQ can go in different areas of the skill set. You can be blessed with a certain boxing skill set and use it famously, right? And you can become very, very successful at it, and you can become great. We're talking about the heavyweight division. We're talking about George Foreman, who was considered one of the heaviest punchers, but he was a slugger. He was a motherfucking slugger. He wasn't a boxer. He was a slugger. So George Foreman, the same person that came back at 45 and knocked out the boxer and Michael Moore. So therefore, what's to be appreciated about Deontay Wilder is his innate gift and ability to have that power. And like you said, he's not a complete fundamentally sound boxer, but how is he able to just knock out every one of his opponents if he's not fundamentally sound?
I agree with
one
that.
punch, right? One punch.
One punch, lights out. But let me tell you, I agree with all that. But what's wrong with, and this is the other thing, and I probably, personally, I think Deontay Wilder should have come out and said things differently. He's being very immature, and he's not accepting defeat. What's wrong with losing to the number one? What's wrong with that? You're not a bad fighter, Wilder. You're not shit. You'll knock out everybody but the world number one. What's wrong with losing to someone better than you? Floyd Mayweather beat Canelo, but now Canelo is like the best thing since sliced bread.
But this is not the same scenario. This is not the same scenario if you're looking at it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it won't be the same scenario.
Fighters, check this out, Jack. Canelo Alvarez and Floyd Mayweather was both 100% when they came into that fight. We obviously know Deontay Wilder was not 100% coming into this fight February 22nd, 2020.
He was 100%.
No, he wasn't.
Playing game.
No,
it'll be just like when Canelo loses to Billy Joe Saunders, everyone will say there's something wrong.
I don't give a fuck about Billy Joe Saunders. I really don't. Just like I don't give a fuck about Tyson Fury.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Nobody cares about these UK fighters coming across and causing troubles. Are you one of those ones that think Billy Joe Saunders is a complete walkover? You're going to dominate him, easy fight,
Well, first of all, if you comparing Billy Joe Saunders to, as a boxer, and you want my opinion, Billy Joe can box. Is he a nutcase? Absolutely. Do I give a damn about Billy Joe Saunders as a fighter? I don't. But can he box? Yes, he can. He's slick in himself. Him and Tyson Fury is a pea in a pod.
Southpaw as well.
Fury is a pea in a pod.
Southpaw. No, don't care about pea in a pot. Southpaw. Canelo Alvarez has struggled with southpaws in his life. We know that. Everyone knows that. No one's stupid. No one pretends like it doesn't. It doesn't exist.
But don't you think it's amazing though, Jack, the not be fundamentally, in your words, fundamentally blessed in one of the most brutal sports and the longest reigning combat sports, to be a person that's built as Deontay Wilder, to come in here and amass a record and a short track from the Olympics to the professional? Don't you think that's amazing though? That's amazing, bro. He won his bronze medal. The hard way. You know what I'm saying? Fast track, lacking all the damn true amateur pedigree.
That's another thing.
And
that's another thing. I forget about the whole Olympics. No one ever remembers that about Deontay Wilder. He won the bronze medal in the Olympics. You have to respect that. But personally, it's not really something that you brag about, because nowadays the Olympics is rigged, just like boxing. You got all these YouTubers now fighting in boxing. It's fucking gone into a shit show. I want to get your opinion on the potential fight between Usyk and Joe Joyce.
When it comes down to seeing Joe Joyce and what he was doing to overrated Daniel Dubois, it was so hilarious. Because I remember people just advocating so heavy. Oh, Joe Joyce the next. I mean, Daniel Dubois the next big deal. I say he's a robot like Joshua. He's a robot just like Joshua. And I'm like, God damn it, bro, your eyes swelling up. Move your head and you won't get hit with the jab.
Hey, brother, I call it stiffness.
Yeah. So with Alexander Usyk, I think he's overrated, in my opinion, just like his little BFF, Vasyl Lomachenko.
He's a cruiserweight.
I'm going for Joe Joyce. Why? because I feel like Alexander Usyk is, first of all, he's gonna get the treatment that he hasn't quite acclimated to the heavyweight division yet. I know he's faced freaking Witherspoon and then Chisora, but Joe Joyce is going to give him a different type of strength, size,
Mm,
and he's going to
mhm.
stick to the fundamentals. You know,
He, for me, when Usyk fought Derek Chisora, I thought that fight was a draw. There was nobody took control of that fight. I thought Chisora was the aggressor, uh, a lot of the fight. Um, for me, I I disagree with you. I rate Joyce. I think his engine is unbelievable. He can go 12 rounds. But watch back at the Usyk fights. I don't care whether it's cruiserweight, but cruiserweight, heavyweight. Unfortunately, Chisora, Usyk got the wing. Usyk, Joe Joyce. For me, I think Usyk will outbox Joe Joyce. I
I
think
mean,
he's
people
going
were
to be
saying that
able to
about
keep.
Chisora though, Jack. They were saying the same thing about him fighting Chisora, that he would outbox him.
And obviously he got the win, and I disagree with a lot of people disagree with the judge's decision.
Yeah, but we're
But he
not
got the
talking
win.
about what we ain't talking about that. We just saying going into that fight, people were
Yeah,
saying that
I agree.
Usyk would outbox Chisora, no problem, and it didn't
But
work out that
Chisora,
way.
for me, Chisora knocks the hell out of Joe Joyce.
But
You
what
see,
about Joe Joyce's powers towards Usyk?
that could be a problem if Usyk doesn't move and
Oh, it's
move
gonna
and
be a
groove.
problem.
That's a problem if he doesn't do a Chris Brown. you know,
Hey,
dance around a bit. Swing those hips, sort of thing. Doesn't do a Michael Jackson sort of thing. Could be a problem. But don't underestimate Usyk's technical ability. He's a very, very smart boxer. Like probably the best technical boxer in the world. He is unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know, that's it. And you laugh at that
I'm
because,
glad you support
the
your
big
neighboring
guys.
fighters. You look,
I'm not,
look.
they're
I
not
have
my
no
neighboring.
knock on
What
you
do you mean
supporting your
neighboring?
neighboring fighters.
What do you mean my neighboring? They're not my neighboring. I don't
I'm
give a
just
shit
saying.
about them. I'm
I'm
not in
just
the
saying.
UK. I'm
People
not
will
in
say.
Russia. I'm not in
I'm just saying. People will
Yugoslav.
say shit that's so healthy and inviting. Oh, he's this, but I don't hear the same over here in the U.S. Like when it comes to U.S. fighters,
Mate,
like
I'm on
you
the other
know.
side of the planet from you. I
I know,
know
but I'm just
everything about
saying
all
when it
these.
comes down to conversation, though.
Yeah, I'm in Australia. We've the best boxer we've got at the moment is Lucas Brown. So he's shit. He's facing these fucking cab drivers. You got fucking Joseph Parker across the pond that's facing rugby players. It's like, you know, you, America has never had a heavyweight sit before Deontay Wilder at all. Now Deontay Wilder's out the picture. Who's going to step up for the US? Who's waving the United States flag as a heavyweight?
I mean,
Nobody.
I asked the same question. Who's next? Evander Holyfield. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Who's the next Roy Jones
Where?
over here?
Yeah,
Who's the next
where?
Mike Tyson?
I personally, I think I'm going to make a big call here, and this is just a big call that I'm going to make. And if he gets himself right, and if he does the right things and gets into it, I'm gonna say it. Big baby Miller.
What about it?
I think he's that guy. He can box. He's underrated. Hasn't fought anybody of any notice, but he can box.
The
From
same
what
one
I've
who was
seen.
trying to knock out Lucas Brown because you know, he was trying to knock out Lucas Brown because I think, um, if I'm not mistaken, let me see, how was his fight? He went the distance with Lucas Brown, right?
Who?
Jarrell Miller.
Jerome Miller. No, he never fought Lucas Brown. He hasn't fought
That
Lucas
might have
Brown.
been Johan Duhaupas then. That might have been Johan
Yes.
Duhaupas.
I think Duhaupas got knocked out by Lucas Brown.
Well,
Lucas Brown has knocked out everybody except for Dillian White, Rhino. What's his name? Oh, fuck! I forgot it. I forgot his name. He's knocked out David Price. He's knocked out Lucas Brown has knocked out a lot of fighters, a lot of heavyweights. But he's also former world champion. I'm pretty sure. Is that right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a former world champion.
I thought at one point that no, it was Johan Duhaupas. Because I could have sworn I was looking for him to fight, see if he fought somebody else, but that's not the case.
Well, there you go. Lucas Brown, former WBA champion, world champion. So he is a former world champion. So Lucas Brown is another one that you've got to throw in the mix, 40 years old, but, you've still got to, in
the only thing we throwing him in the mix, if we mixing up some shit, there's leftovers. I mean, Lucas Brown don't have a chance unless he's going for one of these secondary titles. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
he's won a world title though.
He's a tough dude. I ain't gonna lie. Lucas Brown, a tough dude, man. He's just he takes a lot of punishment, bro. I don't know what he's gonna be like after his fight career, but he take a lot of punishment.
Yeah, he gets knocked around.
Yeah, he gets knocked around.
Oh wow, wow. Are you trying to say that Dillian Whyte wasn't? So what you're telling me, the last 2-3 years, do you think Dillian Whyte was fucked around by the WBC and Wilder was ducking him, or do you believe that he should have been given his title shot before he fought Povetkin and Chisora? Because Dillian Whyte has been a mandatory for WBC for the last 4 years.
And why aren't you bringing Mauricio Suleiman into the equation? Isn't he the president of the WBC? And why would Deontay Wilder want to duck Dillian Whyte? That's an easy fight. That's an easy fight.
He never took it though.
It ends in devastating fashion. Yeah, we can say they never fought. Cool, but I believe on the second half of the career they will fight.
AJ fought fucking this other guy just recently, and he fucking pumped him mandatory for the WBO, and he also pumped Povetkin. He saw Charles Martin. Yeah, he pumped him. He was a mandatory. He was a mandatory. He had to fight him,
bro. Like who's looking for Kubrat Pulev though, except for a mandatory?
Yeah, but who's looking for Dillian Whyte? But no,
you mentioned him. You mentioned him. You basically said did Deontay Wilder duck him? Okay, and then you said why was he? Do you think the WBC has been jacking him around? And really, to be honest, you should have asked Mauricio Suleiman.
Yes, he has. Okay. Yeah, fuck Mauricio Suleiman. And I'm not. I hate Dillian Whyte. I actually hate it. But he's beaten all these contenders for him, right? Okay, and then you got Wilder. Fights guys like Brazil, Stavern. Like who the fuck is Stavern? The second time fought him, and it was like, what the hell? You've got Dillian Whyte,
world champion. He was the WBC world champion that fought Chris Arreola.
Chris Arreola. Come on.
But listen, like you said, going back to what you said, I asked you the depth of the heavyweight division in the last 10 years, and you rated a 2 yet. So you can't sit up here and say Chris Arreola, and then I name off another Arthur Spilker. Oh, Arthur Spilker, Johan Duhaupas. Oh, Johan. Look, it goes all around Chris the board.
Arreola.
People are going to look at the heavyweight division, and it's not as deep as it should be with killers. So you can't say everyone's on Deontay Wilder's bomb and hype up Tyson Fury because he has a Klitschko on there. He has a Klitschko, dog.
Chris Arreola.
A Klitschko, an old antiquated Klitschko. And guess what? Who has Klitschko fought after he stepped in Wembley Stadium?
I'm not talking about Klitschko. I'm talking about Wilder ducking Dillian Whyte after being the mandatory for 3 years.
He wasn't ducking Dillian Whyte. He would have got the same treatment as Dominic Brazil, bro. Come on, just face it.
Nah. Complete different animals, and they're bigger blokes. He's not a stiff little idiot. Like, come on.
So you trying to tell me that Dillian Whyte, his mentality going in there
Dillian
against a
White,
heavy hitter like
Dillian
Deontay
White,
Wilder, he wouldn't have got his
Dillian
ass
White,
knocked out.
Dillian White would have knocked out Deontay Wilder. Knocked him out.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because that's easy. That's easier said than actually accomplished, right? So I'm glad you said that. So out of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, who has the better chin? Come on, Jack. Don't become a Joey. Stay a Jack.
I'd say Anthony Joshua.
Are you out your what?
I'd say Anthony Joshua.
Deontay Wilder has the better chin out of those three, man.
When has Deontay Wilder ever been? When has Deontay Wilder ever been down? Never. When has he ever been rocked? Never.
Deontay Wilder was knocked down twice in the rematch with Tyson Fury, bro.
So you're telling? So you 100% sure?
He stood right back up.
You're 100% sure if Fury was to fight Wilder in the next fight, right, as a trilogy, just to shut Wilder up and shut those other cunts up, you're telling me that Wilder would knock a slick Tyson Fury coming forward, 6'9", no weights on his shoulders, trying to pretend he's something he's not, sort of thing, and smash the fuck out of that little prick. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I asked you earlier if you was confident, and I listened to your language. You said you was a supporter of Tyson Fury, not a fan. So I need for you to be one or the other and put some money on the fight. We don't need to go through all back and forth about what I think. I just know certain things. I'm confident that Deontay Wilder come back in there if his opponent is Fury and defeat Tyson Fury. But check this out. I asked you,
to sit there and put money on it. Put money on it. It's for children.
I asked who had the better chin because of this. Because Deontay Wilder, one of those knockdowns in the rematch can be considered him stepping over Fury's feet or whatever, stumbling, right? And then he was hit behind the ear on the second knockdown or whatever.
He's a legal immigrant. He's a legal immigrant.
Check this out though. But Tyson Fury has been on the canvas outside of Deontay Wilder's fight, right? So I'm looking at the way these guys got up. I'm looking at the way Deontay Wilder knocked out Fury in the 12th round. I'm looking at the way Joshua looked.
It wasn't a knockout. He didn't lose.
He was on all fours, scrounging around for his mouthpiece. Like he looked bad, and then Andy Ruiz knocked him down. He's number 3. Anthony Joshua is number 3. Tyson Fury is number 2.
Who's number 1?
Deontay Wilder. His chin. He got the best chin in the heavyweight division.
So you're telling me that he's number 1 because he's got the best chin?
He has the best chin out of those top 3 heavyweights. He has the best chin. God.
Everybody that's in the chat and just heard that, remember that, record it. Someone's just said that Deontay Wilder is a number 1 because he's got the best chin.
No, right? I say he has the best chin. He has the best chin. I didn't say he was number 1 because he had the best chin. I say he has the best chin out of the top 3 heavyweights that I mentioned.
You look at it.
You're tired, mate. Yeah. You're tired. I mean, you seem like you're a little bit exhausted. I mean, come on, man. Jack, you yarning this shit, dog. You haven't even made one bet, and then you're telling people in the chat to wake up when you half asleep yourself.
Well, the problem is it's 4 a.m. here and I haven't slept yet. But
I appreciate you pulling it up, though.
I've had a few drinks tonight. I'm a bit drunk, but I'm still. I came on here and I heard you jabbing on and trying to pretend that something exists that it doesn't exist.
Trying to pretend. You be saying some shit that you think is under your breath, man, but it ain't. You know what I'm saying?
It's not under my breath.
Bro. Look, he has the best chin out of the heavyweights, man.
Deontay Wilder is like a brawler. He's that sort of guy you go and fight in a car park and he wouldn't lay you out.
What's wrong with that? But it's heavyweight division. What's wrong with him being a brawler? What's wrong with it?
Yeah. But you know what's funny? You think he's gonna be able to come in the ring, the third fight, and you think he's just gonna knock Fury out without no challenges, no
Nope, I never
Listen,
said without any
Fury,
challenges because one
no,
punch can change the fight, man.
Fury. If Fury decides to do exactly what he did to Steve Cunningham after he got up, Wilder's in trouble. If Wilder doesn't keep Fury off of him, he's in big trouble. Wilder doesn't throw uppercuts. Wilder doesn't throw buddy punches. You can't teach that to a 34-year-old.
He
He
threw
knows what he
uppercuts
knows.
against Luis Ortiz.
No, he fucking does not. Are you serious?
Yeah, he did. He did throw
He
uppercut.
got dominated
He knocked him
against
out with
Lewis.
an uppercut. He knocked him out with an uppercut. He did, bro. Watch the fight.
Yeah, I've watched the fight. I watched it live too.
He knocked out Tyson Fury with a left hook.
So you're telling me you can't teach Deontay Wilder anything he already knows? He can't add to his arsenal. He can't add to his arsenal.
Everybody can be taught, bro. Everybody can be taught.
No, not at 34. Not in no way. Not with his attitude and his little arsehole. For someone to come out and say that Mark Breland, right? Mark Breland, we're talking here. To say that he did something that made him lose a fight, he vowed to be fucking disgraced of himself. Mark Breland.
The same Mark Breland that they was criticizing on Deontay Wilder's team when he was undefeated and winning. That's the same Mark Breland. Fire your whole team. They're teaching you absolutely nothing. Right?
You're sitting, right? So you're bagging Mark Breland,
right?
Is that what I'm getting at here?
I mean, I'm just saying that's the same Mark Breland. The people saying fire your whole team. You ain't shit.
I'm on the other side of the world, and I think Mark Breland is one of the greatest boxers ever.
All right, cool. I mean, you can have the right to your opinion. You know what I'm saying, but it has nothing to do with
one of the ATGs, one of the all-time greats. And he's saying that Mark Breland did something. Personally, I feel like anyone that has his legal immigrant,
water.
Anyone that has his ear busted, the way Wilder was, where he had no idea where he was, what he was
just
doing.
Had a cut in his ear. A cut in his ear. His ear wasn't busted.
Was it eagle limelin or something like that in his ear? And that has a big impact on, you can't even stand up realistically if that gets busted. So I understand that, And I felt like
his legs was fucked up before he stepped over the top rope, though. Like his legs was feeling a little funny because something was wrong with him internally. Everything that's public record is out there, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really not trying to spin it backwards, spin the reel backwards. I'm trying to go forward, and we're gonna have a bet or not. You don't want to lock anything in.
You're on the other side of the world. It's not going to work.
Oh, I mean, I'm glad you said that because we have this method
but
of
let me tell you, I'll be here.
Communication there. You can be an Australian still have Cash App. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be a hand-to-hand exchange. You know that.
I'll still come in and I will defend.
Pay up. You'll come in and pay up.
No, I know if there's a difference between paying and knowing. I'm not gonna risk you losing your money. I care about you. I care about what believe in. I care about your health.
I'm grown enough to care for myself.
I don't want you to lose money.
I'm trying to present
a
monetary care package for myself.
I don't want you to lose money. I don't want you to lose money. You'll learn from it. You'll develop into a good person.
Teach me then. Teach me how to lose money. So therefore, what are we looking at? 100, 200, 3?
Nah, you develop. You develop in your own way. No one can teach you. You have to do it your own way. Make your own mistakes. Maybe do it with your fingers or something. Count to 10. But you have to just accept the reality of it all. Fury will beat Deontay Wilder.
It's funny how you can say you're on the other side of the world, but yet you're talking to you on a social media platform. Is the owner or the person that's created this YouTube platform, is he over in Australia? No, right? So it's ways of getting paid. I mean, all you have to do is just log in, Cash App, or every other method of payment.
Let's just say when the fight is made, and the third fight is made, then I'll talk. That'll get me good and confident even more.
I want this sitting
That'll
on your
get me.
mind, though. I want you to lock it in today so it can be on your mind, so you won't
It
even have to
won't.
forget about
It
it.
won't. It needs to be made.
See, look, the
I
way you're
want it to
yarning,
be
what
made.
what
I want it
better
to be
way to go
made.
to sleep? It's 4 in the morning over there in Oz, Australia, right? What better way to go to sleep knowing you got a bet that's out there that you're gonna have to save up money for to pay up? What better way? Go to sleep with $100 bet on your mind.
I don't have to save up for
Cool,
that. I
$100
pay it
bet.
off. I pay it off now if I wanted to. It's easy money. but
Don't go out there killing no motherfucking Joeys and shit and goddamn get locked up trying to sell damn
uh,
furs out there, going to the
let's. I'll just get a.
taxidermist.
No, I'll just get the kangaroo to come running through your house, and you'll be in trouble.
Yeah, you're right. That shotty will blow his ass straight out the window for which he came.
Yeah,
Have a
yeah,
kangaroo,
right.
have a kangaroo come over here.
And then I'll get a dingo. I'll get a dingo in there. You'll be in trouble. Big trouble. I'll get Anthony Mundine to come running through there. That's
Yeah.
what I'll get. You
Well,
know
this
Anthony
this this
Mundine?
pull back up, man, when you wake up again, bro.
Hey, I wish you all the best tonight. You know, keep
Yeah,
talking
man.
nonsense about,
I
Wilder
will.
beating Fury.
I will.
Um,
It's it's,
you know,
it's fact though.
yeah, as you know, I'll give you, you're developing life. I understand you're still developing. Um, I wish you all the best. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
All right, bro. Appreciate you pulling up, man. Take it easy. Be safe, man. Sometimes boxing talk go out like that, man. But um David Benavidez, Ronald Ellis. Let's just say David Benavidez wins this fight with Ronald Ellis, right? What's next? Do y'all want to see him fight Jamal Charlo? I do. I want to see him fight Jamal Charlo, man. I actually want to see Jamal Charlo step up. It's there. It's a very solid fight. Benavidez looks good. He made weight already, so he crossed that obstacle. I want to see Jamal Charlo step up and take this fight. If he plan on transitioning to 168, I really want to see him make this happen. For real. I really do. Um, no more showing the vehicles and all that. We really want to see the Charlo brothers, especially Jamal Charlo, step up. We already seen Jamel Charlo return from taking his first loss and stop Tony Harrison, and then go on to defeat Jason Rosario and headed on to Brian Castano. He's on the brink of accomplishing a championship credential that his brother would never have on his badge doing his 10-year boxing. He's about to become undisputed. That's bragging rights. You take undisputed in a single division and world champion in two divisions. Right now, I mean, they're gonna go with the undisputed. You was able to clean out the division. You know what I'm saying? That's big. So, March 20th, you have Arthur Bellabiv back on deck. I think it's Adam Denise, light heavyweight title showdown. That's going to be March 20th, the next week. I won't be covering that. I will be busy on that weekend, to be honest with you. But he's one of those light heavyweights that's still out there that people believe is credible. There's solid competition. What's going on, Davenport? Salute to you. Peace. Just getting in here. Salute. Smoke free boxing, man. You said Canelo was not 100% against Mayweather. So what percentage was he? What excuse do you have for Canelo getting that ass whooped that night? Smoke free boxing. What excuse do you have? He was green. He wasn't eating the correct beef. You know, what excuse? Because Canelo, the only excuse, if you want to call it, that he had was that he wasn't prepared as far as experience and skill set. He just wasn't polished enough to be in there with the mad scientist, the genius Floyd Mayweather. That's all. He never really said that he was sick, or he was feeling um outside of what he's normally, his strength level was low. He didn't give us none of that. He just basically saying, hey, I was outperformed. Floyd Mayweather gave the boxing public a clinic at my expense. But the positive part about Canelo losing that one fight to TBE is the fact that he's blossoming to the pound for pound best as we know it. So you can't knock him for that, man. He blossomed into the pound for pound best. No matter what you say, you can say what you want about the clenbuterol and shit like that, but he was suspended, retro 6 months. He fought Gennady. He won that fight. He hasn't even looked back. It hasn't. It's not like that particular moment he started losing continuously. No, he's still winning. He's still going up here picking up chips, and you can say what you want, man. Like I said earlier, Juan Francisco Estrada, 41-3, 28 knockouts, going in there against Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, 50-2, 41 knockouts. And it's going down tonight, man. Definitely, I'm looking forward to it. But I appreciate everyone. I'll be back on a little later for this fight. Appreciate everyone for pulling up. Be sure to stop through later and support World Combat Sports.